Imagine it's freezing outside, and you're bundled up nice and snug by a fireplace watching your favorite comfort show, as cozy as can be. But now you're in complete darkness, and you get this weird feeling that someone's watching you. But you don't really mind because you're still comfy and really want to get back to that show. Cozy horror games. Normally you wouldn't expect cozy and creepy to go together, but somehow it just works. Nostalgia could play a big factor, as what's more comfy than a game you know like the back of your hand. It could also come down to the game's art style. After all, when characters are cute, it makes the creepy aspects not so bad. Except for Little Nightmares, this thing can burn in a fire. But to me, what really makes this combo work is that chill yet somber vibe. For example, games like Dredge, Night in the Woods, and Cult of the Lamb can be super relaxing, but also sprinkle in a bit of that ominous atmosphere. However, there is one game in particular that absolutely nails cozy horror. In many cozy games, your main goal is to maintain some place or home to keep you busy. In Grunn, it's no different. Here, you're a gardener whose job is simple. Cut grass, pick up trash, and water all the flowers all around this very normal and not at all strange town. You have 3 days to finish your tasks, but whoa, all the tools have gone missing, and now you gotta find them before... Anyway, the first thing you'll notice is the game's retro art style, emulating those PS1 graphics where the model would constantly warp due to hardware limitations. But here, they did it on purpose. Why? Well, because it looks cool. But it also plays a bit into that nostalgia factor I mentioned earlier, not only with the art style, but also with the environment itself. You see, the town in this game was directly inspired by an actual home deep in the Dutch countryside, owned by the father of a developer from Sock Pop, Tom Van Den... We'll just call him Tom. If Sock Pop sounds familiar, it's because they're the same dev team behind Stacklands, a card management game where you build a village. The village in Grunn, on the other hand, feels incredibly lived in. You can really tell Tom pulled from some of his childhood experiences, like how the townsfolk have these thick Sims-ah accents. You always spin facts though. Unironically though, Grunn oozes an authentic charm in a way I don't think many games in this genre do. It also helps that the ambiance is nice and calming while we do a little spring cleaning. Speaking of which, we still got some tasks to do. But first we gotta figure out, where exactly do we go? We aren't given a map, but we do get some directions from these Polaroids. And no, not the disturbing ones from Butcher's Creek, ones that hint at the locations of important items and areas. These could have easily turned it into a boring puzzle game, but instead they only ended up assisting me when I got lost. Which was a lot. But starting off, I mostly explored the town on my own to see what I could find. And oh boy, did I find some things I had no clue what to do with. There's a lot of items that don't make sense at the moment, but that you'll eventually figure out later, and give you that aha moment. Some are pretty obvious though, like the toilet paper, which you'll quickly realize is for the little guy in the bathroom stall. Once you give it to him, he'll open a room with a blue coin, which you can then drop in the church well to make it rain. This is particularly useful as it does all the watering for you and even fast forward some areas to get you there faster. Speaking of fast forwarding, there's actually a feature where you can skip an hour by sitting on a bench, which I'm sure speedrunners are absolutely abusing. Which reminds me, in this game, time is a valuable thing. Watch it fly by as a pendulum swings. You've got some time-based events like characters spawning in, the church door opening at midnight, and shops closing on certain days. And if you happen to miss when they're open, you could just do a little breaking and entering. No big deal. Because the game is non-linear, you often have the freedom to go wherever you like, just as long as you have the right tools. For example, the lighter is an extremely important item to progress in the game. You could buy it at the gas station for 5F, which stands for, I don't know, fish? Or you could just go directly outside and steal it from an old lady's trunk, which definitely isn't foreshadowing future events. But if you want it even earlier, you gotta grab the paddle and make your way to the park, where you'll find one sitting around a whole bunch of trash. I really appreciate that there isn't really one way to get to every area, but there are shortcuts if you know where to find them. And more areas will start to open up as you progress with your tasks. One task you absolutely need to do is hitting that like and subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. But alright, I think we've done a hard day's work. It's time to hit the hay and see what tomorrow brings. So I did mention this was a horror game, didn't I? At first, you might think the random James Wan style jump scares are just the owner trying to make sure you're doing your job. But then other weird things start to happen. I didn't like that. Like when it gets closer to midnight and these distorted sounds echo in the background. In the church graveyard, you'll also get the occasional Gmod horror map jump scare. What? Jeez. Comparatively, when the jump scares are done by the little guys, it's less startling and more cute. Because the scares are scripted, the novelty wears off pretty quickly, and you're often just telegraphing when they're gonna show up next. Except things don't always stay the same. He's not there. Wait, he's usually there. Whoa, that's new. Starting on Sunday, you'll notice some small changes to the environment. Electric scooter accidents, dead gardeners, and most frightening, gnomes that move on their own. But sometimes, it's your own morbid curiosity that gets the better of you. Can I hammer this guy? Is that hereditary? The one that you'll notice right away is your small shed turning into a bedroom. Compared to everything else, this is actually pretty chill. They even got some elevator music and... Wait, why is the door locked? This is where I found out that Grunn has multiple endings, most of which are you dying. Every time you do, it'll reset you right back to day one. Now, this mechanic can be pretty frustrating at times, but the more runs you get through, the easier and faster the days tend to be. Some of the deaths are easily preventable, like when you're trying to exit the booby-trapped room filling with water, which is the slowest trap imaginable. You just gotta flip the switch. However, once you've reached the last day and don't have enough money to buy your bus ticket, well, you guys ever seen The Mist? But enough about death. It's time to lock in and finish our tasks. There we go. Now we just gotta go through an extremely narrow passageway, which leads to a sandwich? Wait a minute. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? No, not that. That. Although this is my personal good ending, we still haven't solved the mystery behind these strange occurrences. As you uncover the Polaroids, you'll eventually find the key to that hallway. Inside is an orb with the real owner of the garden who tells us that malicious spirits have infiltrated the garden, and we need to gather all the idols connected to those spirits to put them to rest. The shy spirit, who hides in these trippy sections of the grass, is the most harmless. The gnome spirit, who controls all the gnomes, has the numbers game. Well, had the numbers game. The short spirit, who is a bit mischievous, gets a little mad when we thwart his plans. And of course, the tall spirit, who keeps peeking at us with his broken freaking neck. Don't worry, I can fix it. Much better. After collecting all the idols, we make our way to the church and open the crypt. Placing the idols down, we leave and find... Wait, this isn't spooky month. So it seems we were tricked. The guy in the orb was actually a demon, and we just gave him the chance to destroy the world. Well, that escalated quickly. Still pretty cozy though. But we only have less than 3 minutes until the world explodes. This is the chillest end of the world song ever. The really real owner this time tells us to find the holy sword to slay the demon, which is chilling in a box somewhere in the attic. The only problem is, the demon has aura, so we have to find something to get through it. Oh, I warmed the butter. Wait, put the corn in the warm butter. Obtain popcorn? Of course, how could I forget? Popcorn literally has a brand called Lesser Evil. Now we can use the holy sword and slay this demon, and we died. So it turns out we actually needed this purified stone, which these random card battlers had lying on a table. So after grabbing the stone and redoing that whole thing again, we're finally ready to take him on. After taking our best swing, we beat him in one hit. Who's got aura now? Oh, come on! After defeating the demon, the owner gets his body back and we save the garden. Oh, yeah, and the world too. To show us his gratitude, he relieves us of our gardening duties and lets us leave. But gardening is all we know. We should finish the job anyway. And we just so happen to have ourselves a new gardening tool. Let's go! And that's Grunn, a cute little horror game that has as much charm as it does jump scares. Oh, there's a lot more to the game if you want the achievements, but they don't really reward you with anything else. Yeah! Alright. What do I get? I think Tom captured his hometown beautifully, while adding in all of this weirdness that channels a bit of that childlike wonder. And also hell. but I love exploring, and this game gave me plenty of that to sink my teeth into. With the juxtaposition of that chill vibe, mixed with the creepy atmosphere, it truly made for a unique experience. So if you weren't convinced before about the idea of a cozy horror game, hopefully now you have a bit more of a reason to check this game out for yourself. That's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.